ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
Yay! Yay, it worked! Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to This Is Why We Fight. I'm Joe.
And I'm Jordan.
Right, Jordan sounds a bit weird because he is live streaming this evening. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Secret Santa Bonanza says
One minute.
Rosewood.
What do you mean I sound weird?
You do sound a little bit weird.
1 minute.
Andrew's here. Space Hopper. Hello. Yay, I've made a stream, he says. Space Hopper Mark. Good to see you. Good evening, my stepdad's not mean. Were you all just free this evening? Did we get lucky? My stepdad's not mean says, you rang? We did ring, and you answered. Thank you very much. Good evening, English Bird. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, we thought... Oh, sorry.
Better
Go
now.
on. What?
Do I sound better now? I changed my mind.
Yes. Good evening, Daffod. Yes, a little bit weird. It was impromptu. Jordan is making his ornament for the Christmas competition. And he's so proud of what he's done. He wanted to just basically show off and have you all watch him doing it. But we know that you love a whittling stream. And we normally can only stream on a Friday, as you know. We had an opportunity to do an extra one. So you lucky people get a bit more Jordan. And that's never a bad thing, right?
That's the first time I've ever been told that.
Andrew says, Jordan, is that bee doing the weird one-eye thing? Oh, Illuminati secret wink and nod. What are you doing?
A one-eye thing at all. His hat is simply too big for him. Has a bee getting a hat? Have you ever seen a bee hat store? They don't exist.
I've
never seen. They do.
Well, if we're talking about reality, I've never seen a bee large enough to take up an entire armchair. So well done, you.
He's put on his winter fat.
Shouldn't he be hibernating now?
Well, he would have to hibernate if he was like a weak baby bee. But no, this one, he ate everything.
Ian Marr is here. Ian, no need to apologise. Everyone's busy. Everyone's got things to do. Very good of you, though, not to have forgotten. And it's lovely to see you here. Thank you for joining us. One Easy Money. Hello, strangers. And Joe and Jordan. There you go. We're not strangers. We're like family now. Roy says, is this where the There Will Be Blood recreation is happening? I don't know. Jordan's become a bit of a dab hand now. I don't know if there will be blood.
I've become somewhat competent, which is fine. The somewhat competent stage is the most dangerous phase of them all, I'm told.
Plus, Jordan has no concept of health and safety. We all have to remember. So even if he bleeds, he'll just soldier on.
1 minute. I replaced my headphones because the headphones that I'm wearing now have one cable as opposed to the other one, which has two.
What's your point?
My point is, I'm now at less risk of getting caught up on something. That's health and safety right there.
Yeah, whatever. I don't believe you.
Anyway,
good evening, Jonathan.
Flick the thing on for me. Good evening, by the way, mate.
Hang on. Let me quickly finish the hellos. Space Hopper is online shopping right now. We'll let you off, Space Hopper, because honestly, we have to play the game until we have the opportunity not to. Correct? So, my stepdad's not mean says that's famous last words. Roy is just laughing at you. Space Hopper says extra tinnies. This is so funny. Jonathan said, evening, my stepdad. You okay, mate? I know it's correct, but it's like, evening, my people. I don't know, it's so weird.
Hello, fellow young people.
Evening, my wardens. Anyway, good evening to all. Thank you for joining us. Without further ado, let's get the magic on the screen, shall we?
Is that how we're going with this? The magic? That's what you want to call it?
I'm hyping it up. You better not let people down. That's all I can say.
Well, we've already done that by starting. Anyway.
Here we go. Jordan's hands. Hurrah!
Indeed, they're back. You know, the extra blue, because I'm slightly cold, but such is life. Anyway, people may remember the original tree. This is the OG tree. This is the tree that started it all.
That does look amazing.
Thank you very much. We are now upgrading. We are now making a tiny tree. And with the tiny tree, we have also got a new set of tools. No more are we bumbling around in the dark with a knife. No, good sirs. and ladies, we have now got multiple tools, and they have numbers.
Ooh, numbered chisels. This is the good life.
I just realised they had numbers on them beforehand. I was just looking at them and saying, "Oh, that one looks kind of pointy. That'll do." There you go. This is the next stage of whittling legend.
Jonathan's accusing me of something here, and I don't know what to say to this. Smoking what? Of course, I don't imbibe, as you know, and definitely not drinking. I'm on coffee.
Yeah, this would be a good drinking stream.
It would be. If you were into drinking in the middle of the week. We don't advocate for, very antisocial things like that. No, we're joking. It's up to you. We're anarchists. Do whatever you want. Don't harm anyone. There you go. That's pretty much where we stand on everything.
I should start before I get started. The idea basically is to kind of hollow. There we are. The idea is to hollow all of this out. Basically everywhere there isn't a tree, just like with this one. This one here, it's kind of difficult to tell, but not really. The background is hollowed out and the tree is left standing proud. That's the aim that we're going for here.
That looks so good, I'm not going to lie. Roy is suggesting the numbers represent pints of blood loss. So when you get up to number 5, we need to call someone.
I'm slightly worried by number 39 now. Flippin' heck.
Romewood says very professional.
Thank you.
It's a massive improvement, because if you remember last time, it was just a knife and, a lot of praying. Matt says, hello, friends. Hello to you, Matt. Thank you so much for joining us. Anyone else getting lag? English Bird is asking. It seems to be okay for me. Andrew's confirmed the same.
What, it might lag, or that it's okay?
No, that it's okay. Maybe refresh, English Bird. Maybe it will catch up. Jonathan says, nice wood, Jordan.
Thank you.
I don't know if he's being a bit naughty there or it's a genuine compliment, but knowing Jonathan as I do, I could be either.
I actually meant to cut this off already. I made a bit of a boo-boo. I completely forgot I was doing this until about 5 o'clock this evening. So, yeah.
This was your idea.
Yeah, I know. This was my idea. I came up with this idea the other day and I forgot until this afternoon. And then I was like, oh, 1 minute, I have stuff to do.
Well, Boudica says, I'm weaving while watching the wood carving. That's a super productive person. You're being productive while watching someone else be productive. Well done.
Normally just watching somebody else makes me tired.
And Fat Girth says, sup, my whittlers. There you go. Daffod's suggesting that the chisels could be more entertaining. Hammer?
It's like stunt whittling. I'm not into that just yet.
To be fair, how does a chisel work without something to bash it?
Because it's very, very, very sharp.
So what, you just push it?
Yes.
Okay. We shall see.
I'm not by any stretch of the imagination an expert with these just yet. I have only used these twice. Actually, no, 3 times. I believe I've shown that off on the stream already, haven't I? The little whirligig thing.
I'm not sure that you have, or at least maybe I wasn't here.
Do you know what? I'm going to go and get the little whirligig thing. I will be back in 1 second.
Whirligig thing. I love the professional, technical terms for things. I will ask Jordan that, one easy money, when he returns. Here we go. Oh, that whirligig thing. Yes, the spirally type thing. Jordan, you're muted, love. That helps.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is indeed the little whirligig thing that I spoke of. It actually went surprisingly well, considering I'd never used those tools before. And it is also a very intricate design. In as much as it is not, simplistic.
Straight lines. English Bird suggesting soft wood. Would you say that it's fairly soft?
Yes.
For the chisels? Yeah.
Yes, very.
And One Easy Money has a question for you.
Do you plan on staining them? No, I do not. Although I'm not entirely sure what to do with them. Joe keeps suggesting to paint them.
Well, if you could get like a very fine green stain for the tree itself, That might look amazing. The problem is that we're seeing it through a camera, so it's not picking up all the detail that Jordan can see.
Yeah, especially
In
considering
fairness.
that this is basically a potato webcam.
Yeah, so
I don't know if anybody else has this issue. I have a 1080p webcam. Windows 10 doesn't work with it. And seemingly it doesn't work with any 1080p webcams of that age.
I wonder if anyone in the chat can confirm if that's an issue for that particular webcam or that particular platform. Not platform, operating system.
It is a Logitech something.
I used to have a Logitech camera. I don't remember any issues with it, but then again, I rarely used it. So, right, Daffyd Boudica has a question for you. She's asking you for the secret of making a fluffy sourdough bread. Yeah, you have spelled his name wrong, but I don't think Daffyd will care. We know who you mean. That's interesting. Jonathan said he was just ordering oak sleepers when the stream started.
It's perfect timing. It was a sign.
Yeah. Fat Girth says Dremel would be good for the second round.
A Dremel would be. Everyone keeps suggesting a Dremel. And
They are
I understand
good.
why.
They're fast, but then do you lose control? Do you sacrifice control for speed?
Oh, no. People who know what they're doing are unnaturally talented with them.
Yeah, but I'm talking about you. I didn't mean that. All right, that sounded really horrible. You know what I meant. You've admitted that, this is all quite new to you. I wasn't being mean.
No. I know what you meant. You're just insulting me. It's fine.
Your ego can take it. Look at all the stick you get from the audience. It's a good job. It's a good job Jordan's super confident. Otherwise, you'd have him sitting in a corner, like rocking back and forth with the trauma. I think it's amazingly courageous, actually, of you to do what you do on the stream. So fair play.
To be fair, making a fool of myself is what I do for a living. So it's
no,
fine.
But you're not. You're practicing what you preach. You're asking people to try things, and you are doing exactly what you are advocating.
You see how incredibly sharp this is.
Yeah. There you go. Boudica's on your side. She feels like a Dremel is cheating.
Yeah, see, I fully agree. Also, I apologise if I continuously hit the microphone. I don't mean to be doing it. I'm wearing headsets I'm still not used to wearing.
Well, given the professional nature of our outfit, would anyone expect anything less? Come on, it takes us like one go out of every 50, we get a perfect intro. So,
We nailed it tonight.
We did. I don't think people are expecting that much. English Bird says AMSR with Jordan. Ah.
It does make a lovely sound. Very, very satisfying. Just listen.
Yes. Oh, come on, Boudica. Not you. Et tu, Brute. 2-1 on that blood being drawn by the end of the stream. So mean.
I tell you what, by the end of the stream, I would not have dropped a single tear of blood.
Well, we shall see.
I guarantee it will not happen. I've only cut myself once on stream.
Ooh, Daffyd's answer. 1 month preparing the perfect starter. Good prover. Steamy place, good flour, Canadian the best. Not the best with sourdough, though. Do you think that you could give Boudica some kind of recipe she could work with, Daffyd? Maybe over on the Discord, please. She's determined to get the sourdough right. She'll be making it for her family. So if there's anything you can help her with, I mean, yes, she'll be using Canadian flour, although I'm sure she could probably get some others. Yeah, if there's anything you can help her with, Daffyd, that'd be much appreciated. Made in USA preview. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Good evening.
Little Christmas tree diorama. We're hosting a competition this year. We want to get everyone's productive awakening going. So we are asking everyone to make or bake. I know I keep saying bake and you say it shouldn't be necessary, but people might think they have to actually make it from materials. That's why I've included it. Make or bake from scratch a little Christmas decoration. It can hang on your tree. It can be an ornament. It doesn't matter what it is. But we're asking everyone to do that. And we thought, what would be nicer than for Jordan to live stream the process of him making his one? So there you go.
I will be giving this away to a friend as a Christmas present. Yet to decide what Joe is getting.
Honestly, I want that other Christmas tree you made. That's amazing.
Okay, that's mine, so hands off.
Wow.
Yeah, there you go.
I
See
see how it is.
how it is.
Yeah, fine. You see what I have to put up with, chat? Ridiculous.
Now they understand the level of abuse I have to put up with.
Anyway, while Jordan's whittling, we're not going to sit here in silence watching him, as much as that is fun.
No, we're going to have a chat instead, because I'm
We are.
perfectly lucid.
We are. So, is there anything anyone wants to talk about? It's going to be audience request tonight. It's going to be audience choice tonight. We'll do a kind of ask me anything kind of stream. So, what would you all like to discuss this evening?
What's your opinion on the weather, Joe?
It's rubbish. Everyone got snow except me.
Do you know, I agree. I haven't had any. Meanwhile, I've been reading about these people up in Scotland and they're trapped inside their homes and they've been there for 5 days without electricity.
Well, why are they keeping it all to themselves? Come on, it would help them out to share it around. I'll take a bit of snow off your hands.
What I was thinking is, why didn't these people listen to the prep challenge?
To be fair, they've been locked into a pub, and if there is a place that you're going to be snowed in, I can't think of many better places than a pub with a big roaring fire, loads of seats for everyone, and a bar, a fully stocked, ready to go bar. I bet more than one hot toddy was drunk during that lock-in.
Imagine how awful it would have been if you was locked in there and you were drunk.
What do you mean?
Waking up in a pub of strangers hungover.
Oh, what you mean if you got drunk the night before and passed out?
Sorry, yes.
That would be awful, wouldn't it? You'd be like, where am I? Who are you? Why
am I still here?
Why are we all still here? Why can't I leave?
You drugged me.
Fat Girth doesn't have a soft spot for the Scots, apparently. He says probably for the best to keep them locked up generally. Fair enough. Yeah, Boudica, I agree. A pub would be a good place to get snowed in, especially an old traditional pub. That because most pubs have your natural wood fires. How amazing.
What's an unnatural wood fire?
Like natural wood. Well, I meant wood as opposed to like a fake fire where it's just a picture of fire.
Yeah, I hate those damn things. Or the
I meant
gas
real,
fires that have
not
a
natural.
little thing.
Yeah. My nan and granddad used to have one. It used to have that fake coal thing, and it used to have a light, like a light bulb that would rotate to look like flames. Like, why bother? Just get a fire. Jonathan had snow for 10 minutes and then it was gone. That's
lucky.
I didn't even get snow.
I didn't have any at all.
It
Not
just
even a
rained.
single thing.
Yeah, it does sound like a movie. Food, drink, and fire. Three of Europe's greatest achievements. An electric fireplace. They're an abomination. I do agree. I mean, look, beggars can't be choosers. If it's cold and you need heat, then any heat will do. But if you had the choice, those electric ones are awful. Made in USA Preview says, I'm worried some serious stuff could go down this winter. Well, let's talk about it. That's what we're here for. The stream isn't called Let's Talk About, but what the hell, it is now. English Bird says it would only be fun if the beer and food was free. Lol. I like how you add lol to make it look like you don't really mean that. I'm sure the landlords probably gave a few bits out gratis if they could. This is brilliant. Thank you, Josie. I make my sourdough bread with 200 grams whole wheat and 250 grams Canadian works a treat. Josie, if you would be kind enough, what Boudica's looking for is a way to make it less dense, like a literal recipe method to follow. If you could share that with her, she'd be very grateful. Roy says, every time, I may have said preview, shush, no one else called it, shush. Every time Jordan pushes that chisel towards his left hand instead of away, the tension goes up a notch. You were told off about this before.
Yeah, and I've said many times before, I am an expert. Do as I say, not as I do.
I'm so sorry, Made in USA review. Do you know, you just reminded me of that thing from Morecambe and Wise with Andrew Preview. Does anyone remember that?
I do not, as it was a long, long, long time before me.
Yeah, it was a long time before me, but it's
What
been
do you
on
mean
tape.
it was a long time before you?
It was.
When were they still going?
Are you trying to imply I rode a dinosaur to school?
When were they? When did they die?
I've no idea. I don't think they. Oh, yeah, they have both died now.
I was about to say, flipping out, love. They died a long while ago.
I've never tried sourdough. Jordan
very
has
nice.
convinced me that I won't like it.
No, do not lie. I did not convince you you wouldn't like it.
You said you won't like it. What
is
is
not
that?
convincing you that you wouldn't like it.
You're telling me.
You still have free agency to try. I'm just telling you, you won't like it. I know you won't. They are not Five Chisels. They are the little acorn company whose name I can't remember. They're made in Sheffield.
I wonder if they're called little acorns.
Ooh, tragically not.
That would be so cute. But good evening, I agree.
They're made in Sheffield. Henry something.
Henry Acorn?
No, that'd be silly. What sort of
Why is there
name is that?
Frickin' acorn on them?
Because it's cool. But no, the Fife ones are unnaturally expensive.
Taylor. Tom is saying Taylor.
No, Henry Taylor.
Well done, Tom.
Dead on, mate.
And I agree says, nice British made. Yes, indeed.
That's what I thought.
Boudica Josie says, could try leaving it in the fridge longer to rise. There you go. We must also thank Josie for passing us a fantastic link to a recipe for Ivy soap. I was going to say tea. Ivy soap. Thank you, Josie. Andrew, pass that on.
I was wondering where you were going with that, but yes, I remember now.
Yes, Ivy soap it was. I don't know why
it's
you
ironic.
said Ivy tea.
It's ironic because literally a couple of days before I heard about that, I'd pulled all the ivy down.
Well, it's interesting. I was about to pull my ivy down this week. Now I'm going to keep the leaves and see what I can do with them. Roy says they are nice looking chisels.
They are. They look nice and they feel nice in the hand. And do you know what? I'm actually going to use them properly for once.
Yeah. And here we go. Look, Boudica's going to try the ivy soap this week as well. So, yeah, thank you very much for that, Josie. We will let you know the results. Made in USA review. So he said he was a bit worried about this winter. Says, here in Massachusetts, a whole large town was just without power grid for like 2.5 weeks. That's quite extreme. 2.5 weeks. What about surrounding towns? Was it just the one? What were the excuses for 2.5 weeks of no power?
They always have excuses when it comes to things like that. And always complete rubbish.
I agree says, can you sharpen your V gouges? Mine go blunt and that's the end of them.
With the V gouges, what you can do, you can either buy a special little jig. I can actually find one. 1 minute, I'll bring it up. You can buy a special little jig, or as you could make one as well, to be honest. Apparently, though, if you just sharpen the edges of them, and I don't believe this myself, but we're going to find out. If you, here we are, put that back. If you just sharpen the edge, and you go back and forth on that part at the right angle, you'll be fine. I don't entirely believe that, because as far as I'm concerned, with this sort of chisel, you're cutting with the throat of it. Oops, there you go. You're cutting with that part as opposed to these edges here, but we'll find out as time goes on. So far, this has retained its edge. I haven't used it terribly much, but it has retained it just fine by sharpening it. I think it's one of those things, rather than looking at it as sharpening, just looking at it as maintaining the edge. So constantly, as you're going, sharpen. Other than that, I don't know. I haven't really used it enough to judge that.
I've always been a bit confused about the sharpening law when it comes to knives or various other objects. If you go by what the so-called TV chefs do, they sharpen their knives before that, like every time before they use them.
Mm-hmm.
Other people only sharpen once they start to become blunt. I wondered, well, Daffyd is a professional cook. I wonder if you could tell us, Daffyd, what's the reality of this? Do the TV chefs just sharpen their knives for show? Or is that actually something that's recommended? And while I'm waiting for Daffyd to answer that, just going back to Made in USA review, he says their excuses are BS, but yeah, people were struggling for food, water, and heat mainly. I don't know. I'm assuming that people would have be able to burn fuel that they can get themselves, like wood. But if they're restricted from food, this is why we always advocate for growing your own food where possible, and utilising your local sources of farm shops and various other things. I suppose when you've got no power and no gas, this is the reason why I want a cast iron frying pan. And we were talking about this before, using your barbecue in the winter. It might not be as good as obviously cooking indoors, but at least you'll get some hot food. He goes on to say everyone should have a gas generator or something. Yes.
Screen.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
No worries. There you go. This is the little gouge that I meant, or the little gouge sharpening rather. I'm not, this one in particular, I have no idea if it's any good. I will say it, 1,000 grit. Probably not great. But having said that, that is the general sort of shape that you can get.
There you go. I agree. He says, oh, thanks, bud. He said this a while ago, as you can imagine. Thanks, bud. Mine died totally. And he said he will try it. So there you go. What's it called, Jordan? Just so we can...
it's just a chisel gouge sharpener.
There you go. Chisel gouge sharpener. Daffyd says, I use a pull-through sharpener, much easier than all the other ways. I've got a nifty little sharpener. It's got one of those suction pads on it. I got it from a TV shopping thing, and I'm not going to lie, it's fantastic. I've sharpened all of my knives with it, and it really does work so well. Boudica says, we had all of our highways get washed out about 2 weeks ago. We're effectively cut off from the rest of the country. Oh, you lucky devil.
Well, one minute it would be.
If you've got a farm shop and all your resources local.
There you go.
When we get these communities set up, these things will no longer be a problem for us. I agree, says, I strop my whittling knives every time to keep them sharp.
Yep. That's what I do too. You're going to be in pain, aren't you?
I'm sorry, I don't mean to be.
No. So this tiny little bit here.
I know, I was joking.
That's a very minute thing. Don't joke. It doesn't suit you.
So that's what your V chisel would be for, yes?
Not exactly, no, but that's what I'm going to use it for. This is something I actually really, really appreciate about whittling. It really isn't about what the tool is for. It's what you need at the moment. So there will be a special tool specifically for this, because this is a really, really tiny little angle here. You will be able to get a tiny little gouge that fits that just fine. There you go. But the reality is, I don't have that. Thereby, let's make an alternative. And when you look at the sort of thing that people created in the past, like you look at cathedrals and inside churches, some of the intricacies going on there, these were people that didn't have much of anything at all.
No.
They wouldn't have had like 30, 40, 50 different types of gouges just to do certain little angles. They would have pre-planned their designs, and then they would have gone to work, and they would have taken like a little bag, probably much like what I've got, probably 5 or 6 tools, and that would have been that. And if they didn't have the right one that they needed, they would have just worked a way around it.
Because we are and have always been problem solvers. It's just that we've been so bogged down with debt and all the other rubbish that goes along with it, and all the societal junk that we're dealing with. We're not living our best lives because we are distracted. It's all distraction. And if we didn't have these distractions and we were able to focus on actual reality, things that are of value, imagine what we could achieve.
Definitely.
Jonathan has a question for you.
Okay.
Well, not for you, for us. Do we think that there will be plenty of food in the new year? I was thinking about this earlier. I honestly believe now at this point that we know the agenda is to replace all of the natural food with this fake lab-grown rubbish. But I think, as things currently stand, I think it's all peddling fear and lies. Maybe not all of it, but I certainly think things have been exaggerated. Because the way to ensure there is no food is to induce panic buying.
Mm-hmm.
And the way to induce panic buying is to imply that there is no food. Yes, that's a good point from Boudica. Those tools would have been passed down from fathers to sons. So, yeah, I mean, these tools that they made lasted, I would say, lifetimes, plural.
Mm-hmm. I would imagine so.
Tom has a really good comment here. It says, technically, with a chef's steel, they aren't sharpening the blade, but folding the micro-thin edge back to straight. Yes, it's like a windscreen wiper, isn't it? The more you use a knife, the more dents and imperfections you get on it. You need that straight edge to cut a nice slice. So, yeah, you would simply be reshaping it.
I believe that's basically how that leather strops work.
Yeah, you're just removing imperfections to get a clean cut.
Exactly, just physically straighten it back up again.
Yeah. Yeah, well said. Boudica says, I've got seeds and a foraging guides, not all. And then she goes on to say, my food will be fake and gay. Okay. I don't know where that's come from.
Well, you wanted to talk a little bit about the artificial meat, didn't you?
Oh, God, don't even start me on that abomination. I genuinely believe, I have no evidence for this, this is just my opinion, so if you want to quote me on it, please quote that it's just my opinion. I'm going to start with something else. There's a point, and I'll get to it. The fuel crisis. There were two theories going around. The one was that the fuel was going out of date because of the massive splurge on electric cars, which may or may not be true, and that all of this petrol was about to expire, and they wanted to get rid of it, so they manufactured a crisis so that everyone would buy it. The second theory being that they wanted to get rid of the old fuel to bring in the E10 fuel, and they had to make space for it. And again, they wanted to get rid of it. It would justify selling lots with the higher price because they've manufactured another panic. If you take that kind of theory and apply it to food, we know that they want to get rid of natural foods.
Mm-hmm.
We know that they want to bring in this GMO, lab-grown, artificial abomination food that's not actually meat. For instance, I can't remember the names of any of these products. I can't think of the name.
Do you mean like Beyond Burger?
That's it. That's the one I was trying to think of, actually. So well done. So imagine this. If they manufacture a food crisis, just like with the fuel crisis, they can rapidly increase the price, sell all the old stock. But a lot of people are saying that the food itself is not disappearing from shelves. So what's going on? Here's what I think. I think they are replacing real food with this GMO rubbish food, probably in similar packaging, and it's just taking its place. We know a lot of people don't read more than a headline. We know a lot of people don't do their own research. So I would say, don't know what that was, but hell, that was loud. But I will say that on that basis, what if they're just replacing the real food, the old food, with this new GMO food? And people are just picking it up out of habit. The packaging looks the same. Most people shop on autopilot, right? Especially if they've got children or there are other distractions. You grab the thing that you recognize. We don't recognize words as much as we recognize shapes and colors. You get similar packaging. I think a lot of people are going to buy the wrong stuff before they notice. Only people, I think, who are really taking care of their bodies, either people trying to lose weight or people switching their lifestyle to a more healthy lifestyle where they're tracking things like sugar in their food or carbohydrates in their food, for instance. Only those people are really going to read the labeling. Otherwise, people are just going to pick up the things they've always bought, because why not? It's the same thing as last time, right? So there you go. That's what I think anyway. The food crisis is same as the fuel crisis, same as the supply chain crisis. It's an excuse to put the price up and replace one thing with something else. And we know what they're like about replacing things. It's their favourite thing to do.
I had a question, and the question was, what sort of wood is it? This is lime wood. Americans and Canadians know it as basswood.
Yes, there you go.
If
Right.
they were replacing food already, do you not think that somebody would have noticed and that we would have heard about it?
Well, just like things aren't marked as halal or kosher, maybe the packaging is the same too. I
Okay,
mean,
I'll
at
grant
what
that.
point do we trust these people to tell us what's actually going on, as opposed to what they would like us to know?
Yeah, I'll grant that. Fair enough. Fair argument.
I mean, if you're going on the assumption that it would be immoral for them to package something as something it's not, well, they've been doing that for years anyway.
You mean like back in the good old days when they would label things like cigarette and beer as healthy for you?
Well, I'm thinking more like when they were selling horse burgers, horse meat as mince meat, as beef
Jim,
mince.
considering that was less than a decade ago, people have completely forgotten that.
Yeah, like where's the label that says there may be some horse in your beef product? And they're just, these people don't care. They don't care about us. They don't care. We're recently looking up something. We're going to probably run a podcast series or include it in our podcast series about Porton Down. I know it's been mentioned before, but we haven't really delved into it deeply. But the government has done appalling things to people, and it's now admitting that it engaged in biological experiments on its populace back in the 50s. It's not just the UK that's done this, by the way. Your government doesn't care about you. You are merely grist for the mill. You're a convenience that it uses when it wants to and tolerates when it doesn't. Just clarify, Boudica said not all my food will be fake and gay, not that her food will be fake and gay. I did think that was weird. I was going to ask if that was the real Boudica, because that was very out of character for you. Adam's here. Good evening, Adam.
Also, can I just say, this is the value of experimenting. Because while doing this, I was doing it with a different chisel. I was doing this with the straight edge because it was kind of this little squirrely. I actually forgot this existed. This is the V-groove that we were just talking about. So named because it is in the shape of a little V. And it is absolutely perfect for carving out lines.
Because it will curve around the line. It will follow the natural curve of it, right?
In part, but also because it creates like a little V shape, and you're able to go and create much more
Depth.
not so much depth, but tighter lines. There you go. That's the word I want.
Okay. Very good.
There you go. So we're all learning. We're learning stuff as we go along.
Adam says petrol will last forever if stored correctly. I thought petrol expired, but I'm not sure now. There you go. Boudica says petrol has been in the ground for millions of years without going bad. Sheesh.
I will say that petrol does varnish. Like, take apart an old carburetor and you're going to see some nasty, horrible petrol. Meanwhile, diesel will go just fine. I don't know how well it lasts. Maybe pure petrol. Keep in mind.
Petrol in a car is going to be affected by other chemicals and burning and various things, temperature fluctuations.
See, there we go. Now Adam's backing down. It's a very long time. I don't believe this 6-month nonsense. Like,
I didn't know either way. I'm glad if the chat knows. I'm glad you can clarify this, because knowledge is very important to us. Knowing that what we are saying and believing is true is very important to us. Sorry, carry on.
They claim 6 months. Yeah, I'm like space opera. My caravan had 3-year-old petrol in it. Got back on the road this year and it was fine. It's like, yeah, I've had bloody old petrol as well.
Fat Girth is saying that E10 will rot all the plastics in your engines just in time for the 2030 electric car deadline. Apparently in the UK, Fat Girth, I'm not sure where you are, but there are more electric cars now than charging points. So, oops. Yeah.
Who could have seen that coming?
Not us. Certainly not us. My stepdad's not me. I've noticed that some foods don't taste quite like they ought to, like the water in Mallorca. Don't even get us started. We're definitely doing the advert stream. It's always fun. It doesn't even matter if we had exactly the same adverts. It was hilarious. Boudica says, I guess you either butcher it yourself or get it straight from the farmer. Those are going to be our options, I think, for natural food in the future.
Yep.
Jonathan says, one of the most dangerous things now is that they don't have to declare GMO products in your foods. Even if they had to, I doubt many would. My stepdad's not mean says Clinton admitted the mind control experiments on the American public. I mean, we know about the syphilis experiments, but there's so much more. It's like, again, it's like with Epstein, not Epstein. Who was the other Steen? Weinstein.
There's so many.
Well, there's so many. You just can't keep track of the Steens, can you? But Weinstein, I feel like they threw Weinstein to the wall so all the other paedophiles could carry on. Distraction. Pretty tired of their distraction. I'm pretty tired of them. English bird, is there horse in your burger? Nee. Don't apologise. That was good.
It's your favourite sort of joke.
It is. It's kind of dad jokey. I like dad jokes. Matt says some refined petrol is better for long-term storage than others. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to store it sort of in its pure state, you know, in its unused state, it probably would last a lot longer. But yeah, if it's once it's been exposed to temperature fluctuations and it's burned on and various things, then of course you'd expect it to degrade.
But I think it's mainly the chemicals that they put in it in order to add the E aspect, but like the E5 and the E10.
Yeah. Daffy says, don't mention the Ghislaine Maxwell trial. No one else is. Couldn't care less. It's all theatre. Paedophiles are going to keep paedophiling. I just made that word up, I know. They're going to keep doing what they're doing. It's all a big theatre. It's all a big show. It's all a distraction from the global takeover of the world. So you can follow that stuff if you care enough to waste your time. But at the end of the day, these people are never brought to justice. These trials are fiction. Everyone's bought and paid for. People might think I'm a bit of a morose skeptic when I talk this way. I'm just a realist. There are things I care about. Having safe communities, raising our children in healthy, happy, safe communities, being productive, being, I'm not going to say wealthy, but prosperous, and being happy ourselves. Those are the things I care about. All the rest of this is just fluff. I truly don't care. It's just something to read when you've got 5 minutes and you're just flicking through something. It truly doesn't matter. It doesn't affect us in any way, shape or form. So
The Ghislaine Maxwell thing is interesting purely because of the number of people who are on our side of things, i.e. they know the system is corrupt or broken at the very least, still for some reason follow these trials as if they mean anything.
Yeah, as if justice actually exists anywhere now. If
Exactly.
justice existed, we wouldn't have to be doing what we're doing. We wouldn't have to be fighting for the right to live as free people.
Exactly.
So, yeah. English Bird says, a house near me has a charging point stuck on the front of their house. It's horrible. Apparently, this is going to be the rule now for all new builds.
Yeah.
And again, I can only speak for the UK, but just pointless, because I know a lot of people are not going to buy into this electric car nonsense. They're just not going to. They're already running out of the components to make new cars. So what happens when your electric car breaks down? What happens when you say something the government doesn't like and they prevent your car from being charged or cut you off? Or they just shut down the power system like they've done before? Or there's another fake story in the media about, some fire, some magical mystery fire just happened to occur in an electric power company, and now all the power that came from France can't go to England anymore. Oh my God, what will we do? Honestly,
Well,
get a
what
bike.
we will do then
We'll
is
get a
very
bike.
simple. What we will do then is very simple. We will simply say, right, you're only allowed to charge your car every other day.
Rolling blackouts, people. They've done it
Exactly.
before. Maybe they'll tell you that you've used up your carbon limit and you can't charge your car again for the rest of the month. You also can't go and buy any food from your local supermarket. So you think, well, that's all right. I'll nip down to my local farm shop, except now your car doesn't work. So, yep. This is why we need...
But you'll still be allowed to buy it via Amazon Fresh.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You'll be able to spend your money where they want you to spend your money. Where they allow you to spend your money. English Will is here. Good evening to you, sir.
Good evening.
I do try to be honest, Mark. Honestly, I want to live in a world where truth is more important than comfort. Even if that means that I become uncomfortable. I want to live in a world where I know that the reality I see is accepted by everyone around me. I don't have to buy into other people's delusions. Be forced to buy into other people's delusions. Be forced to tolerate the intolerable and celebrate the absurd.
I really, really love the phrase "world view violence." I've mentioned it a number of times. It's a great phrase.
Exactly. We've been forced to believe the worst absurdities, and it physically and mentally harms us.
Mm-hmm.
We've got to stop doing this. Matt says it's much harder to control people if they use petrol. Petrol, yes.
Yep.
But not diesel. I don't know what this means.
Wait, no. You got that the wrong way around. It will be harder to control people who use diesel.
Sorry. I've misread that as easier. I don't know why I even read it. This is my brain on coffee, clearly.
I had to think about that for a moment.
Yes, sorry, Matt. I do agree with you. Yes, when you use an electric car, there is only one way to power your car, and that's through electric. And if it's cut off, then that's it. There's nowhere else you can go for it because you're cut off everywhere. Petrol, I do still stand by what I said, though, partly. Petrol is easier to control than diesel. Diesel is going to be the go-to, I think. Although they're now talking about diesel shortages. Again, maybe it's true. Maybe it's just panic mongering, fear mongering. I don't know. I'm at the point now where the MSN literally can just go do one. I've nothing but contempt for all of them. They are mouthpieces for this agenda. They're all contemptible.
I've just sent you an idea for a future stream, Joe.
Oh, nice.
Thank you very much.
Boudica says, I'm still holding out for a large Carrington event. I don't know what that means. Could you explain, please?
That is when the sun goes pop.
Ah. I refer to that as heat death, but okay. I didn't know what it was called.
No. The Carrington event was in 18... it was like 1820 or
was
something.
that the massive hoax where thousands of
people...
No.
Oh. No. That was the one where the sun got very, very angry, threw out a big old flare, and it lit the very, very early telegraph system on fire.
Interesting. Yeah, Daffyd says 250-mile range for electric cars, I'm assuming. Now try it with the heater, lights, windscreen wipers, radio, etc. Yeah, I don't trust it. And all this like self-charging hybrids.
Mm-hmm.
Now that, I suppose, is a potential concept that could work. Except again, the cost of making these vehicles. I don't know, give me mechanical every time.
Mechanical is better because you can fix it. Electrics, as has been well established, is not my forte and scares me. Thereby, I'm against any form of electric vehicle.
Oh, English Bird, do you have one of those carbon limit credit card things?
No.
You may be the first person we've come across who has one. Please tell us more.
Please do. I'm fascinated by that one.
My Step Does Not Mean says, anyone seen that Go Car ad on YouTube? Rent a car. Haven't, I'm afraid. If you want to drop the link, though, we can give that a look. EV is a money laundering scheme, hustle, says Matt, to say the least. At worst, it's a long-term prospect of total control of travel social credit CCP style. Yeah, we absolutely agree that, there's a lot of Chinese fingers in these global pies. And the Chinese social credit system is truly encompassing. It's everything.
Yep.
Where you shop, where you eat, how you live, how you travel.
Basically, how you breathe.
Yeah. Exactly. The one easy money. This is what I'm saying. If this is happening, that's bad enough. If this is all a hoax, we've got to remember the people that are imposing this on us are not going to go without anything. So how many of these shortages are these people stockpiling all these resources?
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to live as they force us to live. They're not panicking about whether they're going to be able to get food next week. They've probably got tons of underground bunkers, miles and miles of food stored, natural foods. We don't know what technology we've got now. We know what they tell us they've got. I think technology is probably massively advanced compared to what we think it is. But yeah, it's very concerning because these things weigh on people. The knock-on effect. I mean, most people might think, oh, fertilizers, how does that affect me? It has a knock-on effect. They're used in so many products now. They're used to make so many products, rather. I don't know. It's really about changing our way of thinking and not relying on the things we used to. Good evening, Reboot Needed. Apology accepted, but you don't need to apologise.
The problem isn't just how these things are used and how they're not getting through. The problem is, at the moment, China has banned the export of, it was like potassium-based fertilizer. I can't remember the name of it. It's not really used in the West, but it is used massively in the third world, in India and Brazil. Well, now they don't have it. So now they're going to have to buy it from somewhere else. It's like we had this exact same conversation months ago with the soybean shortage. Fair enough. We don't eat soy. We think it's stupid. Meanwhile, a lot of the world's animals are fed soy. They can't get soy. They have to start buying other things. They start buying things like wheat and barley. Well, they are things we eat. So it then starts to impact us.
Well, we've talked a lot about this, haven't we? About the food grain industry, or the animal feed industry. Sorry. The reason why a lot of people are having adverse effects after eating certain foods now is because of what the animals are being fed.
Mm-hmm.
Like imagine that grass-fed, name that animal, is now a luxury. But this is nature. This is what they used to eat.
Grass-fed trout.
Grass. And all the nutrients in grass that came from rainfall and sunshine. And now they are fed artificial rubbish because our countries are too populated, or the nutritional integrity of our soil has been degraded. It's ridiculous.
By and large, farmers don't really know what they're doing.
It does appear that way.
But their idea, like, the yield this year was down. Oh, I know. We'll just add more chemicals, and that will fix the problem.
Yeah, like you're literally trying to cure poison with poison.
Exactly. Like your problem is caused by something, and your solution is, let's just put a bandage over it. It'll be fine. No, lad, that's not how things work.
This is why the answer to big bad corrupt government is not more government. It cannot work that way. The answer to big bad corrupt government is no government. You cannot have government and be free. You need to make a choice. Matt, this is a good point, and one we've discussed many times, Matt. Matt said something non-flattering against the government. Your vehicle is now disabled. Beep boop. Yeah, exactly. They
take
can
a
just...
look at.
God, sorry.
So I was going to say, take a look at the crime and policing bill that they just passed. I didn't read the article in full, it was on The Guardian, but apparently Priti Patel has added 18 extra pages to it. And now basically everything that they don't like, i.e. protesting, can result in a 51-week jail sentence.
Crazy.
Absolutely.
My Stepdad's Not Mean is saying just type "go car" for the advert. Do you want to have a quick look at this advert, Jordan?
Absolutely.
Take a break for a minute, rest your fingers.
No, you can look
Okay.
at the advert and we can come back to this. I've just made a boo-boo, so that's okay.
Oh, okay. Well, I want to catch up on the chat first, which is why I was hoping you would do it.
Oh, fair
Sorry.
enough.
David says it's Go Car on YouTube. David says don't want to advertise, but Welsh lamb is the only meat with integrity. Take your word for it. I don't know why we'd think that you were Welsh at all there, David. Good evening, Steve. Welcome to the stream. Reboot Needed says the scariest thing is all the things conspiracy theorists predicted last year are coming true. Yes, conspiracy fact. That other elephant in the room that no one ever talks about.
I don't know what Go Car is meant exactly. I've got an advert from 8 years ago.
It's a new advert, I believe, and it's about a rent-a-car thing. It's called Go Car.
Yeah, I know that, but I mean nothing is popping up on YouTube for it.
Interesting.
I think the name is just too generic.
Maybe you can just provide us with a link.
That would be
Please, My
better.
Stepdad's Not Me. I'll see if I can find the link and I'll post it in the chat. Let me have a quick look. I'm not finding Go Car either. Is it Irish? I've got one, Go Car, Ireland's #1 car sharing company. Is that the one?
There you go. That may be it. Daffod has said, will people be protesting the larger jail terms for protesters? Ironically, I saw a lot of people on the Guardian article on Twitter saying that this was deserved and the jail sentence should be longer because they're Guardian readers, and I don't believe Guardian readers have a brain cell. We don't even really talk about Guardian articles terribly often. Or at least I don't think we do.
We don't talk about what, sorry?
Guardian articles terribly often. It's too easy. It's just
True.
like low-hanging fruit. We did bring them up every now and then, but not as often.
I found an advert for it, but I don't know if it's the one that you meant. I'll post it in here. Actually, I'll post it here because that'd just be easier for you, wouldn't it? There you go. Is that the right one? Before we play it. It's basically sharing cars, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which I don't like the idea. Ah, that's interesting. Daffod says not Welsh, by the way, 100% Manc. Why are you pretending to be Welsh? That's cultural appropriation, don't you know?
It is.
Look at this, everyone. Shame on you. Matt says perhaps our countries grow enough food and raise enough livestock to supply ourselves with wholesome food, but outside influences demand we adulterate everything for the sake of additional yield. Yes, this comes back to what Jordan was saying about farmers. It's all about profit, and it's all about making money. It's all about having more. And the problem is they are sacrificing quality for quantity. You put the link in earlier. I'm so sorry. I need you to drop it again. There's no way I'll find that link. No, the chat only holds so many comments, and then it
is a little tricky on our end.
Nice to be ranting in your chats again. No worries, Daffod. Don't apologise. Oh my God, Daffyd, stop trolling me. He says, I've always been in Wales. Who'd be daft enough to live in Mankland? For goodness sake. Now I don't know what to believe.
You've been debated.
I have. Boudica says, which is why we need to change the way we view wealth and money. And Daffyd says, don't even have a beach. Smallest violin in the world is playing. We do need to change the way we view wealth and money, because wealth used to be money in the bank. Well, that's exactly what they want you to believe. But the person who is wealthiest is the person who is happy in what they do, is healthy, safe, has a family around them, has people that care about them, a roof over their head, food in their belly. That's wealth. That's true wealth. Being loved, being appreciated by the people around you, that's true wealth. You'll never be poor if you're part of a thriving community of people who genuinely care about each other. You'll never be poor. You'll never go without anything. The link won't post properly. I'm so sorry my stepdad's not me. It is the Irish one, though. Well, maybe we'll try that link then, Jordan, that we've got.
Fair enough, I'll play it.
Thank you.
Apparently I am the gopher of this stream.
Hey,
I do on
come
gold,
on.
allegedly.
Come on. No, come on. I'm doing most of the work here.
What do you mean you're doing most of the work? You're sitting there.
You're relaxing.
What do you mean I'm relaxed? It's stressful.
Don't start with me.
1 minute. Rent down report return tutorial. What? No, this doesn't appear.
Oh, is that not the right
this
one?
appears to be a how-do. I would disagree. But okay, put the link in Discord or Telegram. Problem solved.
I can't even find the thing now. Oh, that wasn't it. Oh, damn, we're going to get done for copyright now. For God's sake. YouTube. It was a mistake, okay? Do not ban the entire stream because I pressed the wrong link.
What did you do?
Didn't you hear it?
No.
Oh, good. Maybe no one else did. Can anyone name that tune? Exactly. That, you know, you don't need money to get by if you can provide the basics by working for it within a community. We don't need to be able to buy things if we can start making things. If we can start bartering our skills and services and the goods that we make.
Prime example of this actually is telephones. I was watching something earlier on. I can't remember the fella's name. Curtis, I think his name is. I don't watch him terribly often. Not Curtis Tech Tips, but Curtis something else. He hangs around with Linus Tech Tips, for anyone who watches that. He has developed a phone system that runs off of a Raspberry Pi and costs him about 25 cents a month.
Damn.
Exactly. That is a bloody useful use of technology, because that has drastic. Well, 25 cents for Christ's sake, that has annihilated his phone bill. I'm bloody interested to watch a video and find out how he did that.
Well, we've got some techie people in our audience. Maybe they want to play around with that concept. I'm glad you've brought
with that, because that sounds bloody interesting to me.
I'm glad you've brought up tech, though, because I want to mention something that Roy mentioned to me a couple of weeks ago. If we've ever given the impression that we think that tech has no place in our future communities, then we apologise unreservedly. There is definitely a place for tech. There is definitely a place for not throwing away the achievements we've made. We just don't trust the people controlling tech as it currently exists. When we talk about going back to the old ways, we're talking about the standards, the work ethic, and the values of those times. So communities, courtship, raising children properly, having proper families, having proper communities. There is no reason why we cannot amalgamate the best of the past with the best of the current or the best of the future. So I just want to clarify that point because Roy was correct in that we don't really make that distinction or make that clear. So we want to make it clear now. There's definitely a place for tech. In fact, because so many people are very proficient with tech, it would be honestly a crying shame not to incorporate tech so that it benefits us for a change.
I said months and months and months ago that tech is incredibly, incredibly useful for us.
Of course,
It's
it
why
is.
they would never shut down things like the internet. I still don't believe they ever will because it is so incredibly useful for them and it's so incredibly useful for us at the same time.
Yes, but as we clarified, when we talked about shutting it down, we didn't mean the whole thing would switch
No,
off.
no,
We
no, no,
mean
no.
restricting access to certain things.
I know, understand and accept. I'm just saying.
But yes, I do agree. The internet will never go because you buy your insurance online, you do your shopping online, you bank online. You bank online. There's one reason the internet will never go.
When it comes to tech specifically, 'cause while we're on this subject, one thing I would love to do, and I have no real idea how to do it, is do a proper little tech stream. Just showing all sorts of things, like showing off various ways to set Linux up, or just how to set Linux up, and then going through all the different things we can do with it. Because I am quite interested in that side of things. It isn't something I've ever really played around with, but it is something that is really, really interesting. So, for example, smart homes. I don't like things like Ring doorbells, for example. I don't like that sort of thing. But there are loads and loads and loads of open source variants of it. I'd love to play around with those and see what happens. And I think that would be a great thing to show on stream. Well, potentially a great thing to show on stream. I've no idea. It may be the world's most boring content possible. But
it's the distinction to be made, isn't it, between tech that spies on you or harms you and tech that benefits you.
Exactly. Like one of my personal rules is if anything is important, it should be self-hosted. And if something is really, really, really important, for example, go back to the Ring, go back to that sort of thing, a doorbell and all of that stuff, that should not only be self-hosted, but that should be hosted on something that is in your home. There shouldn't
Like
just
the
be
old
hosted.
CCTV setup, right? It was a live feed direct from one monitor or one camera to a box.
Exactly.
Only you saw it. Only you controlled it.
Exactly.
Just quickly from Daffyd, as you mentioned, Curtis. He said, another Curtis, urban farmer, Curtis Stone, good YouTube channel, talks about regenerative gardening.
Yeah, I like Curtis Stone.
If anyone's interested in that, go and look him up. Thank you for that, Daffyd. Here we go. English Will's talking about Linux, US, open source, yes. Tom is asking, so are we for or against Bluetooth kettles? If they're not spying on you or otherwise harming you, we're for them. But that said, I do think that it's just as harmful in the long term to be completely reliant on the convenience of things. It does make it very, very hard to walk away from this stuff. That's just my own particular bugbear. I think convenience has made us soft. It certainly made people sacrifice some of their principles, I think, in order to maintain access to convenience. Of course, we need to be made of stronger wills and have more of a backbone. But the reality is you can have convenience without trading off anything else that you value. We're not there yet. We'll get there. So the current consensus is we are for Bluetooth kettles as long as they're not spying on us. Matt says peer-to-peer VoIP Wi-Fi phone using Raspberry Pi. That sounds worthwhile. Mainstream phones are that, plus basically DRM for their cellular and Wi-Fi networks. Breaking free from proprietary tech. Stan nearly tripped over that. I can't speak. Proprietary tech is huge. Yes, and that's the tech we are against.
Yeah, I fully agree. I'm really, really, really interested in how he did that. I would quite like to be able to set aside some time over the coming week to look into that and and see how it was done, and maybe we could do something similar. And if we can, that would definitely be done on the stream because that just sounds cool.
Well,
But
maybe
imagine-
we could get some of the tech guys to come and do a collaboration stream and talk about this stuff.
Just at the most basic level, right? We're all paying however much it is for internet at the moment. I have no idea. Let's say we're paying 50 quid a month on average, all of us, everything that we're using. So that includes your phone rental and your phone.
Don't start me
Stuff.
on line rental. Completely
Your line rental and your other
nonsensical.
stuff. Right, let's say you're paying 50 quid a month for that all in all, whatever it is in your neck of the woods. If you're able to do, like, host your own phone, you can get rid of that entirely because you can get a little SIM card and a little SIM router. That costs about 80 quid, and then that'll probably cost, I don't know, let's say 20 quid a month. So you have that, and then you have your own self-hosted phone. You have your own communication network then. That is a really, really interesting thing to play around with.
Yeah.
And this is just scratching the surface, let alone as we start to go on more and more and more, as we start researching it and finding out other things that we can do with it. Imagine having a Discord that you could use via your home phone. That changes the game quite a lot.
It comes back to these immoral principles. The things that they charge you money for don't cost anywhere near what they're charging you for. And I'm going to have a quick rant about line rental charges when you get broadband. If you don't have a landline and you don't use a landline, you still have to pay line rental charges. Absolute scumbags. There you go. That's my rant done. Hasdak has joined us. Good evening. He says, this is for you, Jordan. Them hands ever done a hard day's work?
No.
They are soft, aren't they? Like a
Do you know-
child's hand.
Well, no comment.
My stepdad's not mean says, Joe, I like everyone knows it's me running the Christmas stuff. Joe, when is the Christmas song stream? Can you please post a link for the D Live channel for that? We don't actually have a date yet. What we did say, what anyone may have missed on the last stream on Friday, was that our very own DJ Mark has very kindly offered to put together a fantastic playlist for us. But it's going to be the community playlist, which means it will be based on your requests. So if you want to message Mark on Discord or go into the Warden Social on Discord and tell Mark the kind of songs you would like. I mean, let's keep it to one request each. Otherwise, it just get ridiculous. But request your favourite song and Mark is going to add it to a playlist. He's going to set up the playlist to play on our channel. He's going to host it on his own channel. And yes, we're definitely going to do this. But it's going to be by this community for this community. So it will be the Warden community request night of Christmas music. As for a date, Jordan and I are hoping to do something because we won't be streaming that last Friday before Christmas because it's Christmas Eve. And whether or not we had families or commitments, you might have. So it just wasn't going to happen. We're hoping to do something on the Tuesday or Wednesday preceding it, which will be the 22nd or 23rd. We're unable at the moment, unfortunately, to nail it down, but it will be one of those 2 days.
Yeah, that's on me.
So watch this space. We'll make sure to let everyone know as far in advance as we can, but it will be definitely one of those 2 days. So obviously for that show to take place, we need to get your requests in. So you can drop requests to us in the Discord or in the Telegram chat, or you can drop them directly to DJ Mark. It would be really great though if we could stick to songs that people know for the most part. Nothing with rude language for obvious reasons. That said, if anyone wants to pick the Irish song, I love it. When I say rude, I mean rude like WAP rude. And yeah, let's just pick some really nice, wholesome Christmas songs, the classics, the favourites. Have a really good night. It can be carols as well. It's up to you. But it depends what you want from the evening. Do you want a sort of slow enjoyment of, the emotion of it? Or do you want a more upbeat Christmas party type evening?
I have already got my song suggestion.
Is it metal?
No.
Is it a metal version of another song?
No. Look, metal Christmas songs are god awful.
Oh, come on, some are good.
No, they're not. They're all awful.
They are good. The upbeat
Name one.
ones. What, off the top of my head? Okay. I can't think of a single one. I've got them on my phone, though. I know that's not helpful. Maybe Kiss or Def Leppard. Deck the Halls. Really fast rock beat or metal beat. Just really good. Anyway, so yeah. So get your suggestions in, please. Get your requests in. We want to play your favourites. Yeah, rock beat. I mean, or whatever. Exactly, English Bird. The reality is, because we are basically demonized for having opinions of our own, the reality is a lot of people are still reliant on technology to maintain contact. Our families live in different countries or different parts of the country. We need tech, and we never try to demonize tech. And we hope at least that's not how it comes across. It is the people controlling the tech that we fundamentally disagree with, not the tech itself. Not all of it, at least. Well, yes, don't even start us on the monopolies, Matt, but you're quite right. When you've only got a handful of companies being given licenses to operate, and those companies all agree to push the prices up, and they're all taking their share, there's no way for an independent newcomer to get in on the action and offer a real value for money. So, yeah. Andrew says, I love how I'm reading all this out with some confidence. I've no idea what most of this is I'm reading. Andrew says, I think we need to have a good look at XMPP. Take Back Our Tech has been doing a lot of articles and interviews on it. Very interesting stuff. Maybe you can post some links in the chats, Andrew, on Discord and Telegram, please.
Please do.
I
don't remember all the acronyms, but XMPP sounds bloody familiar.
Reboot Needed says, without tech, there would be no Joe or Jordan. Oh, you're so kind. If you enjoy listening to someone ramble on for an hour and a half once a week, you're too kind. English Bird says, your classical 45-minute song. Thanks. Drop the link later. Oh, God. 45 minutes.
That's too long.
We're only streaming for an hour and a half, right? Don't be greedy.
That's far too long. No song should be that long. If it got any longer, it would turn into an Iron Maiden song, for Christ's sake.
I do like classical music, though. If you could find something around the 3-4 minute mark, like normal, that'd be great. Just 45 minutes is a bit much for anyone, especially as it's your choice and not everyone's. Hasdak's been busy today, relaying a patio and making a shed base. Oh, his poor hands. You've broken your hands.
I hate that job. That laying patio is just the worst thing ever.
Andrew, why?
What's wrong with mistletoe and wine? You don't like Cliff Richard?
I just don't know if I like that song. No, seriously, just pick what you like, everyone. Good King Wenceslas from Boudica. Yeah, you can have traditional carols as well. But if we're going to have some upbeat and some slower stuff and some carols, we'll have to split it into 3 parts. So it depends how you want to leave the stream. If you want to leave it all sleepy and comfortable, then yeah, we'll get the slow stuff at the end. If you want to leave it all hyped up and excited about Christmas, we'll do the fast stuff at the end. We'll see how we go. There you go. Hasdak says AC/DC Dog Eat Dog. I've never heard that. We did say one song, English Bird.
To be fair, it's AC/DC. All songs sound the same.
Oh, are we going to get into an argument here?
I don't like them at all. My dad loves them. I don't understand why. It's like literally every song is the same. What's the purpose? This makes 0 sense to me. How has this band been going for so long? Oh, it's heavy metal, my dad says. It's like, really? What is it? It's like old man rock.
Yeah, that's old man understanding, isn't it? If I don't understand it or I don't like it, it falls under this one genre that I hate.
No, my dad loves it. That's what I'm saying. That's what I don't understand.
Your dad's weird.
Very,
I mean, weird that he bucks the trend. He doesn't do anything I expect him to do. Not in a bad way.
I will concede. So I will concede that Thunderstruck is good. My stepdad's not mean, as he has nailed that. That is a good song. Fair enough. I'll go on.
Andrew's asking, isn't Wenceslas a type of cheese? It probably will be now you said that, because we are trendsetters here on this stream, you know. Oh, Boudica's going after Red Hot Chili Peppers, says they sound all the same.
God, that's
all
an
their
awful
songs.
band. That is a truly appalling band.
To be fair, I'll give you that, Boudica, but I can beat you. Coldplay.
Okay, Coldplay has a special place in my heart where it is just pure disdain. Just absolute, unabashed hatred. I cannot stand Coldplay, but I want to go on about Red Hot Chili Peppers a little bit.
Okay.
How many songs have this band produced that mention California? It is unreal.
Thank you, Andrew. I don't know how many because I don't actually listen to them.
It's too many. That's how many. The fact that they have a song entitled Californication is absurd. But no, the rest, they're just awful. Just absolutely appalling. Just non-music. If you like the Red Hot Chili Peppers, trust me, I'm judging you severely.
Yes, we are, Jonathan. What are you thinking? Rivers of Babylon?
I have a family friend who lives next door to one of those.
By the rivers of Babylon. It's a really catchy song, which I hate, but it is. I can't help it. There are certain songs by certain people I'd never listen to, but the song's catchy, and I'm like, damn it! Because I keep catching myself singing the tune or humming along to it.
Do you mean like that little Mexican song you were singing last night?
Like a galacha. My stepdad's
yeah,
not
but what was
says,
worse is my brain then translated that into La Chupacabra. So that's all it was. La Chupacabra, La Chupacabra, da 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 da. La Chupacabra, La Chupacabra, da 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 da. What is this nonsensical word?
This is the appalling singing stream. Who knew? You never know what you're going to get with our streams, do you? My stepdad's not mean, to answer you, I think, says Flea is a brilliant bassist, though, to be fair. Who calls themselves Flea?
A man who is very, very itchy. I don't know if he's a good bassist or not. I don't listen to any of their god-awful songs.
Oh, is this Red Hot Chili Peppers bassist?
Yes. I don't trust... Look, it's taken me near enough 20 years to warm up to Robert Trujillo moving around like a weird crab. I just can't abide weird movements while playing on the bass. Why can't they just be cool and just stand there like Lemmy? That's basically all I ask. You stand there like Lemmy, you stand there like Cliff, you stand there like Jason. That's it. Any of those three things, even when you start moving around a bit like Steve Harris, I'm not a fan.
No, Lemmy's hair moves. You're implying he stands completely still.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you just stand there, you look metal as all hell, and you play. That's all you do. That's all you need to do. You just look cool.
So if you want to see heinous, like on stage movement, you have to watch Mick Jagger dance. It's the most appalling thing. Oh, Tina Turner. She opens her legs and she just kind of grabbles up and down the stage. It's weird. It's horrible.
She grabbles up and down like
I don't know how to describe it. It's like a crab thing, and she's like her legs are locked into position, and she just kind of moves her hips to move each foot forward. Like there's no fluid motion. Good evening, Jean-Baptiste.
1 minute. I'm sorry. Describe this again for me.
I can't. Don't you know what I'm trying to say?
Just do what you say again, right? She locks her legs.
Okay, I've got it. You know sumo wrestlers, you know the way they stand, where they stamp their feet down? She does that, and then she kind of moves by wiggling her hips, moving across the stage. Come on. Power strut, says Daffyd. Come on, chat, back me up here. Tina Turner has no grace or femininity. She's like a sumo wrestler. Hasdak says, I like ELO, my dad's fault. I love ELO. So if you want to suggest it, do they have a Christmas song? I don't think they do. There must be one if I've not heard it. Yeah, the power strut, Daffyd. Except it just looks awful. It's very unladylike. It's like, I can't close my legs. Power strut. I don't know. My stepdad's not mean says, you have to feel the rhythm, Jordan. Yeah, got the moves like Jagger. That's unfortunate.
I hate that song as well, for that matter. Can anyone tell? Like, I basically don't like most music.
Jordan's a musical philistine.
I'm a musical snob. Let me put it that way. I don't. It really boils down to, unless it's from a handful of bands, I don't like it. It's dead to me. I don't want to hear it. I don't want anything to do with it.
Hasdak says Tina Turner is good in Thunderdome. I'll be honest with you, I haven't watched any of the Mad Max films.
Good. I was about to say, isn't it Thunderdome?
And I can't comment
Max, rather.
on her acting ability. I'm just talking about her dancing. She's appalling. Just saying. She's not the only person who's appalling, but she's the worst example I can think of.
Is she the
Except for Mick
worst?
Jagger.
Is she the worst big name singer when it comes to dancing?
It's just so unladylike. It's just awful. It's awful to behold.
I'm gonna have to look this up later on.
You will. I would play it. I would play a clip for you, but we'll get copyright struck, so can't do that. Oh, that reminds me. The music stream is going to be DLive and Odyssey exclusive.
Yes,
for obvious reasons. So yeah. So if you haven't already joined us on those platforms, you know what to do.
Talking of joining us over on those platforms, we have a latest episode of the C Files over there.
Oh yes.
And it's a damn good time.
Yes, get over there and have a listen, and you'll see which mumbo jumbo we're talking about this time. It's actually, all joking aside, it's actually very interesting. It's the stuff that we can't put on a stream. We're not claiming that it's true or untrue. We're just discussing the C's and just seeing what we think, basically.
We're discussing the seas. Have we become like the maritime?
Well, you didn't call the real name, so I didn't. They're not called the C Files. They're called the Conspiracy Files.
I like the C Files because it reminds me of the X Files, and I want to be Mulder.
We should call it the Hex Files, really. But anyway, so yes, it's just very interesting. It's very interesting that while you may or may not believe this information to be true, some of it, quite a bit of it, can't be verified by just a couple of people online. You'd need to have contacts to verify this stuff. And you'd need to take a lot of people at their word. It's very interesting, though, that these simply exist. That somebody somewhere thought of these, and that lends to me some credibility for them existing.
As we say a number of times during this series, the real kicker for me is it was written in the late 80s, and a lot of it you can see play out. And I find that to add quite a lot of weight.
Yes.
Because, it's one thing predicting what's going to happen in 5 years. It's another thing predicting what's going to happen in 35 years.
Exactly.
There's a vastly different ballgame like that.
When you've got the inside track, when you've got, a contact in, name that government department, it's very easy to pretend to be some kind of prophet, isn't it? It's very easy to pretend that you have knowledge that other people, that us mere mortals don't have. But to accurately predict things that have happened so far into the future, I don't know. It's at the end of the day, we're not here to tell you what is true and what isn't, and we can't verify it for ourselves. We're simply discussing the concepts and allowing you to make up your own mind.
Exactly. You're all free-thinking individuals. You're highly critical. That's why you're here.
Exactly.
Watching a man pretend to whittle.
We never tell you what to do except build communities, because that's just universally a good thing. But genuinely, we don't ever ask you to take our word for things. If we make a claim, it's because we've backed it up ourselves, or we've verified it ourselves. But we always ask you to do your own research. And that's the way it should be.
I've nearly finished one half of this.
That's looking good.
Thank you very much. It's getting there, slowly. What I want, and this is a little bit closer. There we go. What I want is this side to be a little bit deeper. So it's all roughly this sort of depth here, which you can't really tell, unfortunately, but I'll take pictures and you'll be able to see. I want it all roughly this sort of depth. And Yeah, then it's just working down that side, which is going to be extremely tricky.
You'll be fine.
Anyway, I
One
need a
Easy
cup of
Money.
tea.
Oh, well, before you go, One Easy Money says, I'll drop it in Discord so you can add it to get into the Christmas spirit. There you go. Thank you very much.
Take care.
English Bird says, I have a community of one. While we are talking about sort of anything this evening, English Bird, were you one of the people who joined your local stand? Because I wanted to talk about this and to see how you're getting on. We've got quite a few people who've joined stands, quite a few people who belong to stands, listening into our shows and in the chat. To see if maybe they can give you suggestions or any help or advice. Yeah, so let us know if you want to discuss that further. All right, Jordan is going for a cup of tea, as you just heard. He will be back momentarily. It's because he has the noisiest kettle in the country. That's what it is. Good evening, Xanth. No one turned up. Oh, you're leaving us, English Will? No one turned up. I've given up on those way back. That's such a shame. That's really a shame. We're hoping as more people get involved, we can start bringing people together in a more local way. I will say something. I got invited to that next door thing in my local area. And it's full of the kind of people you'd expect. There's one half that don't want to have the masks, although no one's really explicitly talking about anything, because there are actual counsellors on there. And there's another group who think that everyone who doesn't wear a mask should be banned from shops. But it might be a good way to connect with some people, maybe some dissident voices in your local area. It's called...
I would say I reckon there's going to be a lot of people sitting there thinking like us, just waiting for somebody else to stand up and say, no, that you've gone too far, be quiet.
Yeah, exactly. So let me just make sure I've got the right link. Now, most people are invited to this particular group via one of their neighbours, and they give you an invite link. I don't know if you can just join it, but somehow people are joining it, so I don't see why not. But anyway, if anyone wants to give this a try, this might be good for those of you who are struggling to start those conversations with your neighbours. And maybe, it's just an online thing. It's got local businesses and various other things, but it's also got like a feed, like a Facebook feed type thing where you can speak to people. So yeah, if you want to give that a try, I'm not saying it's the best thing in the world, but these people will actually be your neighbours, and it could be that they're in the same boat as you. They could just be, worried about who they speak to, worried about what kind of reception they're going to get. A very good way to see how they respond online, to see if it's worth meeting some of them. I mean, some of the people and the one that I've joined are lovely. Someone had a problem with young people trying to break into their house or something, I can't remember. And another neighbour immediately jumped up and said, I live just round the corner, I'll pop round and see you. It can be extremely useful. Good evening, Matt. She's not in Tennessee, unfortunately, but that's very kind of you. But she's on Discord, so there you go, English Bird. Hasdak says, we've been kicked from our stand in the park. The group leader likes power. When you say we, Hasdak, how many of you equates to we? Because maybe you could take that little offshoot and start your own stand.
It sounds like a future war to me.
It does. Turn it into a ward and keep building and keep growing. Don't let these people dictate what you do. People who openly vie for power can't be trusted. Honestly. Exactly, Xanth. There shouldn't be leaders. There you go. Look, Jonathan. What a gent. Jonathan has built the kind of community that we're all dreaming of. So why don't you drop Jonathan a message and maybe he can help you, suggest some things to you. Maybe Jonathan has contacts with other groups and they have someone in your local area, Hasdak. It might not be a stand, it might be a different kind of group, but it's still networking and it's still local people. But I would still try that Nextdoor app. Because the reality is you don't know who's vaxxed, and this is the problem. Because people have been made afraid to speak out, maybe a lot of people are saying that they're vaxxed just so that they don't become ostracised. That has occurred to me more than once. Because they're afraid of losing their job or their status or their business online or whatever. And we just don't know. Don't give up on people until they give you good reason. Are you back, Jordan?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. But yeah, Jonathan is on our Discord and he's also in our Telegram chat. So feel free to message him there if you want to ask him anything. He's so incredibly helpful. He will do anything for anyone as far as he is able. Andrew is also part of a group. And again, if you have questions, and maybe Andrew can answer some of those questions for you. Andrew's group had a similar problem to yours, Hasdak. Insofar as his group split off. There was difference of opinion as to the direction of the group. But Andrew's group, they carried on meeting. They're going strong. They're still meeting. And they are more community focused. So yeah. Do you want the link to our Telegram, Hasdak? If you want to join us there. So we've got a chat there. 1 second. I will post it for you. This worked so well last week and now I'm struggling.
I can grab it 1 second.
It doesn't look right. Is it t.me/?
Yes. You were typing it out last week. It
Okay.
is t.me. TIWWF chat.
And that part I got. I couldn't remember if it was t.me/.
Yes. Yes, it
Telegram. Yeah, Hasdak. The other good reason to join Telegram is this. Most of the freedom groups that you'll be hearing about, that we talk about, that other people are talking about, they're all on Telegram. There's groups for prepping. There's groups for activism. There's groups that meet up. There's loads. Absolutely tons. If you're going to network, there's not really a better place to start.
Plus memes.
Oh, it's a meme factory. It really is. So yes, please let us know how you get on. And again, yeah, you can message any one of us in the chat. Tag us if you want us to make sure we get it. But you can message any one of us at any time, and if we can help at all, we will. That applies to everyone. By the way, if you get on Telegram and join our chat, we're almost always online, even when we're not streaming, and we can certainly reply to a message. My Stepdad's Not Mean says there's a venue in Swansea who are defying the rules. They've planned an event. The powers that be changed their locks. The venue changed them back. I think it's still ongoing. All the best to them. Wow. So the powers that be changed the locks to the venue against their wishes.
Good on the venue.
And let me tell you something. First of all, yeah, excellent for that venue in Swansea. And secondly, it just goes to show, doesn't it? More people are getting the confidence and the courage to stand for what they believe in. That's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Wasn't it a cinema or something?
Oh, is that the one? Yes, if that's the cinema, we actually know about that. Yeah, good for them. It's atrocious what they did. Didn't they send the police down there with some government minions and actually block the owner from entering their own premises?
I love the term minion.
Well, what are they if not just mouthpieces?
Right, exactly. It's descript.
Well, good for them. Good for them for fighting on. And I tell you something, from what I've seen, they've got loads of community support. At the end of the day, and that's not to belittle them or their motivations, but businesses have a choice to make now. And if they want to basically blow off the public to do what the government tells them, they're going to lose a hell of a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's not the government who are going to keep them in business, it's the public.
And more importantly, it's money they'll never make again. Because all those people who were rejected from their venue will never go back.
Exactly. Not only will they never return, they'll boycott it and they'll tell everyone they know to boycott it too.
Exactly.
And that will be the death throes of that business.
Exactly. Especially when it comes to small local businesses, because they rely on they rely on their local trade.
Yeah, of course they do.
If you're a shop in a town, you're not relying on someone at the other end of the country to do business with you. Someone at the other end of the country on Twitter saying, yeah, good job on you, either one way or the other, is completely irrelevant.
By the same token, though, if you have a local business that is bucking the trend, that is standing up for itself, are you ready to go back on, Jordan?
Not quite yet. I will be in a moment.
Okay. If you know a business that's doing that and it isn't getting a lot of support, get out there and show it. Show some support. Show that business that you support it, that the people are behind you.
And tell them why.
Because they believe in your rights. They believe in your civil liberties, your freedom to make your own choices because you are grown adults. And because they trusted you to make your own choices, you trust them. Once someone damages that trust relationship, you can never get it back. But for those businesses who are standing up, we need to show them that we support them. We need to show them you've made you've taken a massive risk, but it's going to pay off because you've just bought our loyalty. And we will shop with you now. You're not going bust. You have customers here.
Well, can you imagine, just going back to that theatre in Wales, can you imagine how much extra business that locksmith is now going to do? Like the one who came back and put the proper locks on. Because now all the other business owners around him know that one of them is on their side.
Yes.
So if that ever happens to them, they're actually okay because they know, locksmith Larry lives down the road and he's going to do it for them.
This is the point. I think we are at a time now in our history where people have to choose which side they're on. And it isn't about your side or my side. It's about choosing to be on their own side. It's about choosing to uphold freedom or to impose upon it. Because that's really the only argument worth making. You either support us being free or you are against us being free. And that's an immoral proposition. That means that you are pro-slavery. You're either pro-freedom or you're pro-slavery. That's where we're at. And it doesn't matter if there are rules imposed like don't talk about COVID. I understand that people are very worried about what they can and can't do right now. Again, that's another reason why the system has to collapse. It can't continue as it is. But if people are going to stand for us, we've got to stand for them. It's that simple. This is all about the reciprocity. We talked about this well over a year ago. If people are doing, Locksmith Larry is here. Jordan.
Yes, I've returned.
So is Locksmith Larry.
I like Locksmith Larry. It's a great name.
That's so good. Yes, Locksmith Larry, we stand with you.
Strontium has asked if I've cut myself again. The answer is no.
Oh, I do apologise.
I'm a professional nowadays. Also,
I don't
how the hell? So I just realised, how the hell did you change your name so damn quickly? The Locksmith Larry.
I'm going to say I don't like this implication of again. He's only done it once. To be fair.
But to be fair, doing it twice would then include again.
You've done it once, haven't you?
Yeah.
There you go. Although once could imply again. More than once is again.
You can pop it on screen again now, by the way.
Okay, thank you. You're so quick, though. Locksmith Larry, and there it was. There we go. And
Good
we're
night,
back.
English bird.
Back with a tree. Good night, English bird.
We
Take
will be
care.
going shortly as well, I imagine.
It's 20 past 9. So,
Indeed.
yes. Yeah, Jordan's getting tuckered out, bless.
But he's getting there. Look at it. Slowly,
It
slowly.
looks really good.
Yeah, we've only done one side so far. But, slowly, slowly. Oops.
That's really good to know, Beehall Pooch. It's about time. It's about time people did. All these nurses and doctors should certainly be doing something. I'm really pleased to hear that. Yeah, that tree looks amazing.
Thank you. I'm actually
So-
really, really pleased with it.
So has everyone else thought what they're going to make? I
Yeah,
hope
because
you've
that's
been
what
giving
tonight is about.
Yeah, I hope you've all given serious thought about what you're going to make. And you've only got until the day before. What date is that stream? It's the 17th. So you've got till the 16th to get them all in, which is 2 weeks Thursday. Or 2 weeks tomorrow, technically. So yes. Boudica says, I want to pay my doctor in pie. Oh, I wish it was that easy. I could pay my doctor in bread.
Be a very fat doctor.
Oh, look, Daffod's on it. Look, can't see the wood for the tree now. But that really does look good.
Thank you.
See, the beauty of...
damn it.
Whoa. I was going
So,
to say,
as I said, I
earthquake.
keep doing that because I'm not wearing my usual headset.
It looked
and I
like
keep
an
catching it.
earthquake. I was just going to say, the difference... Now, Jordan's doing this. You can hear in his voice how much he's really enjoying this. This makes him happy. I don't know if this is something he'd do for a living. But as a hobby... But
I'm
as a
not there
hobby...
yet.
But as a hobby, it makes him happy. It actually really gives him a sense of well-being. And whether you do this to show other people or to give to other people or you just do it for yourself.
It's a lovely change of pace, if nothing else. Like, I'm busy all day and I'm doing stuff, some of which I don't enjoy at all, but I'm doing it anyway because I know I need to. And this is just pleasant.
And we live in such a fast-paced world. We so rarely have the time to just sit and relax and gather our thoughts. And at the end of this relaxing, enjoyable time, you're going to have something to show for it. Beer Who Porch says, search Telegram for new health system. So there you go. If anyone wants to have a look at that, thank you very much for that. Larry Locksmith and Woody Woodworker. Oh, I know, Daffod. It's like a distant memory, isn't it? Daffod says, remember the wooden jumpers? It seems so long ago now.
I still have them.
That was Jordan's first attempt. Look how far he's come.
Yeah, look at the tooling. The tooling has improved, if nothing else.
I also remember your first attempt at a tree.
Was that not that one?
No, the first one.
I'm not sure I believe you.
Unless it became that one.
I'm pretty damn certain I've only ever done one tree.
I'm sure you did another one and you hated it. Or maybe it was something else.
No, it was one of the jumpers. It didn't work at all.
Ah, okay. My bad.
Yeah, I was very unhappy with one of the jumpers.
So
Still
do you
got
have it? So you know when you do the branches, like the detail on the branches, not the outside line. Do you have yeah, that part? Do you have like a wedge tool to create that?
Yep. That's the V-gouge from earlier on.
Ah, okay. And that's what you did the other one with?
Yes,
Or did you...
I went round the outside with that. I do wish I had a nice way of showing the V-asp there. That kind of is.
Put your finger underneath it. That's slightly better.
It's very, very hard to show something like this off. That's a
Yeah, we
very,
can
very
see that.
weird thing.
I've noticed something though. Where's your trusty old whittling knife?
Oh, that's in the bag. I don't need it for this one.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, poor neglected little knife.
I can use him later on to clean it up.
What do we think about whittling then, Stream? We should have a whittling competition.
Competition I could win. Heck yeah.
The problem is, again, we don't inherit these skills from our, grandfathers and fathers anymore. So you have to buy the stuff to do it, which is a damn shame.
That's why I started off with the knife. That I always wanted to do this sort of thing, and I knew the knife wasn't the right option, but I didn't know I would enjoy it in general. So I started with the knife, and I went from there. And
Well, that's the
eventually
thing,
I
isn't
ended
it?
up getting these.
Yeah, you don't want to invest a fortune in a hobby because obviously you don't know whether or not it's something you're going to stick with until you give it a try. David said, wife's had a set of those chisels for 20 years and never used them. Came in handy for hanging a door last week. There you go.
There you go. Perfect.
Make do amend. That's what it's about.
Yeah, I'm going to leave it there for this evening when it comes to this.
You've done really well. I've no doubt there'll be another whittling stream because Jordan wants to get this finished before last entry's in. So just a reminder again, that's the 16th of December, Thursday the 16th, so that we can collate them all. And don't forget, we need pictures so that we can show off your amazing work. And yes, it should be a really fun, upbeat stream. We want you to be proud of the fact that you even gave it a try.
And these are perfect for giving away as presents as well.
Absolutely.
Which, quite honestly, is my main motivation.
And if nothing else, you've saved yourself a fortune by basically making your own Christmas decorations or ornaments.
Yeah.
So this is the Christmas decoration competition, Daffyd. To make or bake something from scratch and enter it into the competition.
Think of it like the Great British Bake Off, but better. I need to stop doing that.
Yeah, please, let's not promote them, the Beeb.
No, I meant headbutting the mic.
Oh.
At this moment in time, I have the world's jankiest setup where my webcam is zip tied onto the mic. And it's just dangling. It's kind of glorious. It's me all over. And this is because I couldn't be bothered to get my tripod out and put it on top. Although, maybe next time.
Oh, better than the earthquake we've witnessed, because given what's going on these days with the old heart machines, that could have been an earthquake. We don't know. Panic attack. Anyway, we will be back as usual on Friday. So if you are free to join us, we hope you will. Friday stream, we are totally getting into Christmas mode now. As you can see by our lovely design. Isn't Jordan amazing that he was able to make this? The bee is prominent as always. This is Jordan's new favourite mascot. It's going to become the Wardens community mascot. Cozy fireside chats. We're going to have fun. We're going to go through all our favourite stuff. We may revisit.
Look at the eye of him. He's a big boy. You don't measure him in terms of weight. You just measure him in terms of some sort of gravimetric index.
He's a honey machine.
But he's like he's the Jupiter of the bee world. He's massive. Look at him. He's put on some winter weight, that is for sure. And look at the lovely little socks in the background as well.
Stockings. You and I are not going to have this argument again. They're
I don't
Christmas
understand.
stockings.
They're not starting their socks.
No,
You can wear-
they are socks, but they should be Christmas stockings.
So they're socks.
No. Right, chat, come on. Chat, let's end this argument once and for all. Are they called Christmas stockings 1 or Christmas socks 2? Let's have some 1s or 2s in the chat, please.
No, because you've automatically biased the question here. They are objectively socks.
That picture contains items that are objectively socks. What I'm saying is they are supposed to be stockings. They are called Christmas stockings.
Everyone's agreeing with me. Look at all the ones.
No, they're agreeing with me.
That's not what you said.
I'd said stockings for 1, socks for 2.
You're mental. Everyone agrees they're socks.
No one agrees they're socks. Even Beer Hill Porch put 22. There's not even an answer for that.
He's just highly confused.
But yeah, anyway, we shall be back Friday. We're gonna have fun for the rest of the month. All of the stuff that's going on right now is distraction, in our opinion. It's all designed to make you upset and unhappy and stop you enjoying being with your family, stop you enjoying doing the things you want to do, stop you thinking about solutions. So this month and for the rest of this year, we're going to focus on fun. There's going to be lots of community stuff in with the fun, I'm sure. There's going to be lots of solutions in with the fun. But we're going to have a good time. We're going to connect with our community and we're going to have a really enjoyable time. So I'm not entirely sure what the format is for next week. We do have some fantastic videos that we want to share with you. One of them's a bit rude. I do apologise in advance. We couldn't find a version that wasn't. It's so amazing. They are very funny. So yeah. So if you have anything funny you want to share, again, let us know. You can contact us on the Discord or the Telegram. But it's going to be fun. So have a very good night. We'll see you Friday. Take care, everyone, and be safe.
Indeed. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.